Mohibul Hassan Chowdhury, former education minister in Hasina's cabinet, is joining us live now. Mr. Chaudhary, appreciate your time here on India Today. Your first reactions, the interim government of Bangladesh is calling it historic. You say that this is biased, politically motivated charade. But what is the evidence that you have to say so?
You see, the constitution of the tribunal itself is illegal. This tribunal was meant to try for the crimes committed in 1971. That was the mandate of this tribunal. This interim government did not have any mandate, constitutional or through the court, to amend an act of parliament through a temporary law. Now, they have done that. They have included the incidents of 2024 into the mandate of this court, which is totally illegal because there is no parliament in session. And through this illegal tribunal, they have held a completely one-sided trial where our leader was not allowed to represent herself. Some of the senior lawyers of the Dhaka court, they wanted to fight on her behalf, but they were denied. They were not allowed to appear on her behalf. A state, I mean, the current interim government, the prosecution side, appointed a Jamaat-e-Islami activist lawyer on her behalf. So it was a completely a sham trial in an illegal court by a group of people who simply wants to take revenge for the trials of their leaders who were collaborators of 1971. It is the same tribunal where they were tried. And this tribunal doesn't have the jurisdiction, the authority to try any regular riot incident or a criminal allegation. At the same time, the police have also filed hundreds of thousands of cases of murder charges against our leaders. But they know that if they were to follow regular criminal procedure, they are not going to successfully convict us, because you have to have a basic standard, a minimum standard of criminal culpability, and you have to prove that. In this tribunal, none of this exists. It was a camera trial. It was a camera trial broadcasted across the country in order to shore up emotion, in order to whitewash the crimes of 1971. And this is what they have done. They have taken revenge for their for what.
But Mr. Chaudhary, the government says that its July charter reforms is an essential to prevent authoritarianism. And this entire trial actually aligns with that. And if you look at the statement which has been issued just a few minutes ago, it says that it's a historic verdict because it was long awaited by the people, especially the relatives of the martyrs of the July uprising.
July charter itself is an illegal charter. It purports to amend the constitution. These people are not elected by the people to amend the constitution. Political parties have not even agreed on the July charter. BNP has signed with note of dissent. Except for Jamaat-e-Islami, every other political party has given their note of dissent against this so-called July charter. If they are to change the constitution or to prevent authoritarianism or whatever they want to call it, they need mandate from the people. Who are they, first of all? They have just arrived from abroad, sat in the chair of government, and are just running the country without consulting anyone. Let us have an election. Let us have an election. Let the people decide who they want in government. So until and unless that happens, each and every action of this interim regime is constitutionally illegal. So they just want to justify it by PR measures. They want to hold a camera trial, which they have done. We knew this was all coming. This is all planned. This was all planned, as they had planned our ouster last year, which they themselves said was a meticulously designed mission.
But Mr. Chaudhary, if you look at it, it says very clearly that there were people who were part of this International Crimes Tribunal who had, turned approvers as well. They were people who were
Yeah,
part
under
of your,
duress.
who were
Under
part
duress,
of it.
the IG
So there were three-member tribunal, which was headed by Justice Majumdar, who pronounced that judgment, which includes former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and two of her former aides. But it also said that the former police chief had sought an apology from the tribunal and the people of the country, and hence Mr. Kamal, who was the former Home Minister, and Sheikh Hasina were declared fugitives and tried in absentia. Do you think former Prime Minister should go back to the country and face justice among her people?
No country in the world will extradite Sheikh Hasina because the whole trial was such a farce. Regular criminal procedure was not followed during this trial. No, so it cannot be said it was a fair trial. Standard criminal trial requires time. You have to submit evidence. Just because they have turned one of the accused into an approver under duress, who was the Inspector General of Police, because he was told that otherwise he will also be getting death penalty. In order to save his life, his family had decided to turn him into an approver. But what about the evidence that they have submitted? No one was allowed to question any of the evidences. They had played audio records, but there's no reference to the source.
But they're talking about the judges actually had noted that the prosecution's witnesses proved that the attack on the Dhaka University students was by the Awami League wings, including the Chhatra League and the Yuva League. This is the court. This is what the court is saying.
Interestingly, no one had died in the Dhaka University. What they had claimed that the Dhaka University students were instructed by us to start the fight within the university campus. No one, not a single person has died within the Dhaka University. That instruction, if it was true, cannot be used to blame for each and every death during the time. Even the number of deaths is disputed. The government so far has come up with a list of 800. Of which many within the list are actually our activists and police security force members.
Mr. Chaudhary,
so the whole process is a farce.
What next for former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina? What is the legal course that you can take?
We will not take any legal action. We will not, because we are not represented. We are not allowed to give any lawyer. So it was a one-sided trial. We could not give a lawyer, so we can't even file an appeal. We do not have any lawyer present in there. They have appointed a state-appointed prosecutor, who was under their pay and instruction. So we don't even have a lawyer. They will then now claim that they're going to appeal to the appeal court, the Court of Appeal, the appellate division of the Supreme Court. But it's just a PR measure in order to exclude her from the next election. What is now left for us is to protest and work to oust this illegal government.
But how do you protest by staying in India?
No,
or outside Bangladesh?
No, 90% of our activists are in the ground. Some of them are in jail. We are not abroad. Not all of us are abroad. Yes, our leader is abroad, but majority of our leaders are in the country. They are in hiding. Because they're being arrested and hunted down and persecuted. So we know how to tackle and protest. We know how to deal with authoritarian
just my
regimes.
last question then: is there a possibility that just ahead of elections, the former Prime Minister will be going to Bangladesh, just ahead of elections?
If we are able to oust this government, we will not allow this government to hold any election. They don't have any right. They cannot hold a one-sided election, and we will boycott it, we will challenge it, and we will do our best for the election not to be held.
All right. Mohibul Hassan Chowdhury, former Education Minister of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's cabinet, really appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us.